Coach Vitello.
Kind of a seesaw battle tonight, obviously a tough loss. What was the message to the team out there in the outfield?
We're kind of right back where we were last weekend. Came out, played really well on a Friday, competed really well on a Saturday, came up short, a lot of frustration. You add in a lot of emotion, whether it's celebrating the good things, and really in both games, or getting down on the bad things, and really all that's a wash. You can kind of cross it out, and it doesn't matter once tomorrow the sun comes up, which I think it's going to come up at the start of the day for once around here, and then it becomes, who can find a way to win the last game. And usually on Sunday in our conference, or any conference really, when you get into these 3-game battles, it is all about just finding a way.
I know it just happened, but kind of what was the deal there with AJ in the night?
Had some tightness in his forearm, and we were kind of at the end of the deal with how we wanted to use him, but either a credit to them or maybe just being off a little bit command-wise. The pitch count climbed pretty quick in the amount of time that he was out there. I mean, he did record 3 innings worth of outs for us. So he did a good job, kind of kept us in the game, and unfortunately I think gave up one of several 0-2 hits that were painful, and again felt that soreness in there. I think he was wanting to warm up or kind of see how it felt, but we're not going to mess with that at this point, or really at any point in that situation.
Obviously, it was a close game last Sunday in Tuscaloosa. Do you think anything needs to change mindset-wise heading into tomorrow this time around?
Probably for me, you can't hang your hat on or hold on to frustration too long. Everybody in this league is ultra competitive, so no one likes losing, and you saw today, with the celebration, everybody likes winning. But again, you got to kind of cross all that out. Once the game's over, you prepare for what's ahead. But what's ahead right now is it's 9:30 at night on a Saturday, and if you're a college athlete in the SEC, or at least a baseball player, I'd like to think you're not going out and partying. You got to relax and eat and rest, and then again, when the sun comes up tomorrow, that's when it kind of becomes about preparation.
Do you have a pitching plan for tomorrow?
No, we haven't chatted in there and really kind of left it up to how the game was going to go tonight. I mean, this could have went into extra innings very easily, and we had a host of guys down there, so we'll kind of regroup and chat that up.
What was Doyle doing so well today?
He's ultra competitive. I mean, we kind of knew that, this summer when he became available. That was kind of his number one, thing he had as a credit to his name. On top of that, he worked his way into being the Friday starter. You got to kind of like that deal where a guy isn't something and then he works his way into it. For Coastal, I think, slowly became the Friday guy, and maybe the same story's being written in Oxford. Regardless of how they were kind of, Coach B's always really good at using a full staff, and whatever role they had him in, he seems to be maximizing it and kind of increasing, what they're asking him to do or what his role is defined as.
How do you feel about the ejection that happened earlier?
I ain't going out there and something happening. I mean, based off our players' reaction, and I mean, everyone's wearing orange, so you're going to get our side of the thing, but I asked what was said, and everybody says nothing, so that doesn't make sense. But, there's also words being exchanged earlier in the game from parties.
Thoughts on what Drew gave you guys today?
He went 5+ innings, and he gave us a chance to win. I know his standards, and I see the look on his face, and I get it. Again, kind of goes back to how competitive guys are, but he did about, exactly what he did. Now, to me, last week's body of work was really impressive, how he bounced back in that lineup, and we're on the road. I don't think it was one of his better outings, but his outings usually, there's not a wide gap. A no-hitter and then giving up 20 runs, there's not usually a wide gap. I would say he was a little, better this week than maybe he was last week, but I don't think, it was his best outing, which means, somewhere around the corner with his determination and his work ethic, probably got a good one.
What went into the decision to pinch hit Bargo in that situation?
Just kind of the looks, that Robin had. It was obviously Doyle at the time, but you're kind of sitting on Bargo, who I think is no question is in our top 9 hitters, but kind of sitting on it, and that kind of seemed to be a swing moment in the game, and it was a wild moment in the game, but it got us to where we wanted to get. So that end of it worked out.
Bats were cold between the second and until the 7th inning. What needs to change to make sure that doesn't happen tomorrow?
Ask Coach B to not throw Liam Doyle. I mean, you know, guys look, I don't know. I mean, guys looking at me like I was playing in the game. We would have killed to have that kid here. So I don't know where that comes from, but there's my compliment to him. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I hear our conversations in the dugout. It's not like our guys aren't trying, but the guy's got great stuff. We know that. South Carolina played him last weekend. They know that. And I don't know him well enough to say whether he was on or not, but he certainly seemed to be on his game from the get-go. And our guys weren't. But if you look at what our guys did, they competed the whole time. The fact we were able to get their closer in the game is a mini win, if that makes sense. So they got plenty of other arms, so I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But I think some people in the stands and other people didn't realize, you know, he was throwing the ball as well as he did.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Good.